guys, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video we're going to be talking about trust in the family, which is a very interesting subject. You know, some families have a high degree of trust and everybody trusts everyone loves everybody else, which is the kind of family I kind of came from. But there are some very untrustworthy families out there. But one of the most important points to consider is that when you have trust is a very special gift between two people, and most people are generally very trusting until it's broken. But when it's broken, it's gone, and it's gone, you know, big time basically. So you trust someone through doing something for them, but but there's an expectation there that you trust the other person. When the person doesn't follow through with their promises and they break your trust, or they do something to deceive you, or they lie or something like that, that trust is broken. It takes a long time for that trust to come back. It's like almost like a dripping faucet, basically. Trust is, if they've dumped out the trust ball and all the water is now gone, dumped out the trust ball, it has to refill slowly over time. And there are some people who will never trust the other person after they've done something, you know, terrible in their lives and cause all the water in the trust ball to basically go away and go over the shoulder. Then, you know, you may never ever trust that person ever again, especially when it comes to things like money and stuff like that. So be very careful. One of the golden rules I have is never lend money to family, always give money to family, because it's also going to cause bad feeling and trust issues when you ask them to pay it back. It really will be. So that's my short video on family trust. Now let's talk about trust in relationships, very hot issue. So one of the things with trust in relationships, we generally, unless we have like a personal problem from our past or something, we generally go into relationships very trusting. Okay, we may go on Google and look up the other person and do an image search or something just to check the other person's out. But when a relationship starts, we're usually very trusting with the other person. I mean, a little naive, really, in a way. At least I was in my relationships when I was dating back in the day. A little naive, and I always really kind of trusted the other person. Didn't really check into them that much and make sure their background was okay, shall we say. So you have a lot of trust early on in the relationship, and then as things start to go wrong in the relationship, sometimes that trust starts to fall apart and disappear, and then some people build their own agendas and they start doing things that don't really comply with the direction of the relationship, shall we say. And that's when things tend to go off the rails, is because now you are losing trust in each other. Instead of trying to build trust together by doing things together, you are doing things apart. You're breaking the relationship apart by not trusting the other person. There's some very common examples of that. You know, one of the more common example is you're saying, okay, I'm going to be home at 4:30 today, and your boss gives you a bunch of work, and without saying it to your spouse, you come home at 6:30. Now, come on guys, you could have said no to your boss. But guess what? Your boss is not going to physically kill you for saying no. It's as simple as that. If you have an arrangement with your wife comes first. Your spouse comes first. Your husband or your wife comes first. Above work, above friends, above everything else in the world. Because the second you have broken that promise, you have also broken trust in a relationship. And if you keep doing that over and over again, it becomes a repeated behavior. Breaking trust then becomes the norm. Is that a good thing? That's not a good thing, I can tell you that. Breaking people's trust on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, is a terrible thing to do. And like I say, it actually happened to me one time. I was driving using a particular GPS app, and I got completely lost on a back road and almost ruined my car. And guess what? I got rid of the app. I never used it again. Why? Because I lost trust. And the same thing happens in relationships, is when you lose trust, you lose trust. And we all know what happens when that happens. You basically lose the relationship. And it's going to take a long time to build that trust back up. If you screw up big time, it's going to take a long time to build that trust back up. Because we go into this idea of the trust bowl again. So we have this bowl of trust, okay? This empty container, basically, okay? Over the course of a relationship, trust drips into this bowl, and this bowl can get pretty full. If you screw up, if you do one thing bad, guess what? That bowl now gets completely emptied out. All that hard work, all those years and years of slowly building that trust is now gone. And they will never trust you again, and that trust is going to drip in slowly. It's kind of like using a GPS on your phone. This is the thing she's been studying on a number of computer science papers and stuff. Basically, is that when you get something new, you tend to implicitly trust it. Like, okay, this GPS is great. I always know where it is, and it's wonderful. It's great. And it always gives me the right directions. The moment that piece of technology gives you some bad directions, like gives you directions to a restaurant that's been closed down for 6 years, or which has happened to me, or it gives you directions to a building which is currently a hole in the ground, which has also happened to me, then guess what? You've now lost trust in the device, and it's going to take you a long time to build that trust back. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Click down there, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be sure to talk to you again soon. Thank you.